Top 32 Gaming, folks. It's me, Jim. We got Jumpy versus Plague Doctor. Let's get into it. Jumpy here is called Sub Sneed on Showdown for clarity. Tyranitar versus Zapdos. Zapdos staying in. Interestingly, perhaps a Doug follow-up is being suggested here from Plague Doctor. Happy to lose Zapdos for that follow-up. Sub Sneed, also known as Jumpy, doesn't want to play into that. Going Flygon on the T-Bolt, and then Scarm on the Toxic in a bold move. Switching around like a maniac here. A bold second Toxic there in the face of Skarmory, expecting some other sort of play by Jumpy, but no, just a straightforward Jirachi switch in, which would have covered multiple things. In comes the Doug that was probably what Jumpy was trying to play around. Jumpy appears to have the defense to live an Earthquake. But not a bad situation for Plague Doctor, as Jirachi will drop to an additional Earthquake here. It is poisoned for its trouble, but you've eliminated Jirachi. Wish Toxic Protect Jirachi cannot really handle Dugtrio, like Body Slam Jirachi can. Here is Raikou. I feel like there's been a rise of Raikou lately, and I'm for it. It's a good Pokemon, and depending on the coverage it has... Oh, great Roar there. Very good move. As the Raikou Calm Minds up, maybe anticipating a Tyranitar entry or something in the back, probably. The Tyranitar's chipped. Wouldn't have really done much. It's been Toxicked as well. The threat is seriously eliminated here as Raikou is Toxicked. Throws out a Thunderbolt, interestingly. Will we see Hidden Power Ice come down? Yes, we do. Jumpy is on top of it with the predicts against this Raikou. And that will fall to Poison. Very well done there. It's one of the most frightening Pokemon you can face is a Raikou, but... Oh, a Rain Dance Gengar is interesting. Gonna go for a Protect, maybe trying to catch a Boom there. As a Boom into a Rain threat could be in the back. Tyranitar hits the field to reset the weather. Will Gengar Rain Dance in its face? Interestingly, this looks to be Pursuitar. I actually thought it might be Mixtar, but that makes sense. It has Leftovers and Ice Beam as the flex move. Caught the Boom. Jumpy knows what's up with a move like that. Going Skarmory, of course, against Metagross. There's nothing more standard than that. Metagross trying to just make a miracle happen with attack raises or something. It's not happening though, and even if it did, it wouldn't really be that good. It's all about what's in the back here, and another whiffed explosion. It is Suicune in the back. Rain Dance makes sense to support that as it gets rid of Sand. Looks to be Sub, Carmine, Suicune, and a simple Roar has ended that Pokemon's career very swiftly. Zapdos doesn't have very long to live with a poison to speak of on its person. Here comes Flygon. It does get poisoned, but it's too little too late. It was a good move, but you don't have enough left in the tank. Plague Doctor, I'm afraid. Jumpy was really on top of it in this one, I gotta say. Cool team, though. I like the very aggressive Dugtrio special offense sort of thing we're seeing with Gengar, Rain Dance Gengar. I mean, I guess Suicune could make something happen in a miracle scenario. I mean, hey, this is where it begins. A Surf will KO Tar here. I think that you need to freeze Skarmory, though. That's what you need to do. And I don't know if it's going to happen. Oh, a faster Roar. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This could be something. That breaks Sub. I think that Gengar will finish this off. That was almost... The faster Roar was Sub Roar Carmine Suicune. There's an alternate reality where that won here. That's a good set for this endgame almost. You just couldn't quite get it cleanly in for the scenario you wanted. Not even a bad bring, I would say, but the Gengar and Molt took that out. Jumpy, I think, just got more out of their resources in that one, leaving you with an uphill battle. We've got another Tar versus Zap moment in Game 2. And it's also Ice Beam on the Tar. I wonder if it's just the same team. That's unfortunate. Jumpy sacrifices it all for some chip on Metagross, but unfortunately misses. That was a risky move, though. I mean, maybe trying to get ahead of a potential Magneton or something. Sorry, what am I talking about? I'm saying nonsense. That doesn't make any sense. Salamence is in against this Magneton. It was just eliminated Skarmory. Salamence doesn't miss that Fire Blast, that crucial one. And that trade is made. Registeel in the back is unexpected. That's pretty cool. Even though Skarm is down, there's a layer up and Jumpy is looking okay. Oh, wow. Another sub Carmine Suicune is a little bit devastating to see, and especially when you Thunder Wave into it. Suicune is even to live 2 seismic tosses behind a sub, putting it ahead in this Carmine situation. Gonna have to explode. You're gonna have to spend your whole Registeel to get through this thing. And that's no good. In fact, maybe you should have done that earlier before it Carmined it too many times. Now it can tank these Thunderbolts, no problem. It can even tank another one. It dies to the sand, but it's gonna get a KO on Starmie and take 2 Pokemon with it. Pretty nice foot back in the door for Plague Doctor. Can they carry this to a victory? Depends on those 2 Pokeballs unrevealed. Tyrannosif falls. And Salamence against Zap. I mean, this Zap could have HP Ice or Toxic, which would be pretty devastating. It just Fire Blasts. Even just Thunderbolt is threatening a 2-hit KO here. Better be something good in the back for Jumpy. Maybe a Snorlax. It's a Metagross. A Jill Metagross could do it. A Jill Metagross could make it happen. It is indeed Agility. I think it has to be Rock Slide. It's not Rock Slide, and Mash missed. That could have won if the Mash connected, but we don't know the 2 in the back. And to be honest, I think it's fairly likely that something could have dealt with that half-health Metagross in the back, whatever it may have been. We'll never know, but regardless, Plague Doctor is back in the game, back in the conversation. This time a Skarmory lead and a Tyranitar from Plague Doctor. And a classic trade here, making a layer in the face of Tar, losing your HP. Skarmory's often don't mind taking this trade because they can chip heal that health back fairly well. Moltres has come in on an enemy Skarmory switch in, which is a great outcome. That's a fantastic outcome. Tar comes into stomach the fire move quite well, only taking a measly 23%. And an HB Grass critical hit is absolutely enormous. Absolutely massive. I don't know what that Tyranitar had. It had Fire Blast, so to be honest, it's unlikely it could have KO'd Moltres. It might be carrying Rock Slide, but we don't know. Unfortunately, we don't know that. Anyway, back to the present moment. Skarmory's in, chip healing the health it lost early against an enemy Skarmory as they trade layers. Already back up to almost 70. Molt comes in on the final layer, and Jumpy is outputting some offense right here with the layers up, and that's a recipe for success, I would say. Salamence comes in to take the fire move. It takes a pretty hefty 33 on a resisted hit. That's a lot of damage. Takes a Dragon Claw and gets burned for it. That's pretty devastating. Now Salamence has a limited time on Earth. In comes Gengar. And Moltres selects Rest. That's a little unexpected. Are we looking at It's a cool set. You don't see it too often, but it's good. Oh, it's Superman! Miss Drevis is here. We are looking at Superman, folks. Superman is, of course, a team style where you have as many levitating and flying Pokemon as possible to ignore spikes. I think Superman is a pretty good matchup right here. Wow, critical hit, Thunderbolt, and Paralyze is kind of bad against Misdreavus. Not the end of the world, though, because I don't think the Misdreavus is that important in the matchup, honestly. And in fact, the Misdreavus gets the luxury of going to bed and healing all the way back to full, so never mind what I said. It's still alive. It's still alive. Only Gengar can defeat Ganon. Some have prophesied. Will this rest again? It's a little bit of a awkward moment, honestly. I think that Jumpy is worried about going to Blissey and taking a bunch of spikes damage and also perhaps being vulnerable to Wisp Taunt. Decides instead to go to what it looks to be a specially defensive Zapdos. I think it's a good choice. An Ice Punch will deal a measly 28 and there's a follow-up KO in the cards. And these sometimes run HP Grass, but usually they run Toxic. And if Plague Doctor happens to have Refresh, that'd be good. It just has Roar. Maybe we're looking at Rest Talk with no way to hit Swampert then. But Roar kind of does the trick, just forcing it out and racking up Spikes damage. Here's Skarmory trying to poison it maybe. Zapdos goes to the birds. It perishes. And here's Blissey in. This could be dangerous. I mean, Swampert Earthquake threatens quite a bit of damage. Wow. Jumpy willing to lose Blissey here. I guess, honestly, Blissey isn't really walling anything anymore. There's no big special threat you need it for. Bold move, though. Losing Blissey is a big thing to happen. We'll see if that was the right call. We'll see if that was the right call. Jumpy is confident that they're not going to need Blissey for this end game. I understand where they're coming from, but that's still an interesting choice, is it not? Salamence is kind of outputting some pressure here. That could have spelled disaster if a Fire Blast came down. It wasn't a Fire Blast that time, though. It was a Dragon Claw, and Skarmory is going to stall this out a little bit. Here's Flygon coming in on the Fire Blast. Wish Salamence, by the way, healing up. That's kind of bad. Flygon has to take a big hit. I think that Jumpy is in a little bit of an awkward spot, I gotta admit. This is awkward. Are you gonna do Mean Look? Didn't do Mean Look. Just went for Thunder. Actually, this works too, yeah. That'll work. You can stomach a Dragon Claw. Misdreavus should have full special defense here. This Jirachi, whatever it is vulnerable to Mean Look Perish Song. We'll see if that comes to pass. Just Perish's Songs first to at least force it out. I think that's a good move, yeah, because they are inclined to stay, and then you're ahead of the Perish turns. If you Mean Look Perish, there's more turns that you have to worry about. Gonna rest. It's kind of awkward because you don't want to switch out the Misdreavus. You might have to Perish on the Misdreavus here. I think you have to... No, you go Skarmory. I guess you don't actually need Skarmory. That's true. That's the best thing to sack there. Misdreavus, on the other hand, walls the Salamence. And now Jirachi perishes. Misdreavus is also threatening this Skarmory. And in this endgame, of course, everything is immune to Spike. So these Roars are not going to achieve anything. Skarmory lands a Toxic, but I think at this stage, Salamence is too low to do anything here. And Jumpy is maneuvered into a victory. It was looking a little rough there. I mean, sacking the Blissey was a big move, but it's hard for Blissey to do much when there's 3 layers. And also, that could have been sub-Carmine Jirachi too, that just wins against Blissey anyway, so I think sacking the Blissey, it's a scary thing to do, but I think it was the right play. Jumpy has triumphed in this set 2-1. With a great Misdreaver's Superman bring in the final game. A good set. Well done to Plague Doctor. Well played. And Jumpy progresses. Thank you for watching, folks. I'm Jimothy Cool, and goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.